Good morning, Wolverines. This is President Tuminez here at the Social Media Command Center of Utah Valley University. This room is quite special, and I don't know if you could see it on your screens, but we have screens galore in this room. A lot of us may waste a lot of time on social media, but this room is intended to teach skills, fluency, and productivity using social media. This room is where our students engage in learning or engage in the best example of applied learning. And this is where our students learn not only to create content for social media, but also then to use social media for marketing and then to do data analytics afterwards. Personally, and in the past week, I have just learned how powerful this can be because we hired a new basketball coach, Mark Madsen. Yay, please clap virtually wherever you're watching. And I learned that through our platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we are able to leverage the news cycle and able to create an audience out there for what is important to us and generate the excitement that we needed to generate. I also wanted to let you know that as I sit here, I'm reflecting on nearly 7 months of this presidency. And we had a huge week last month with a week of dreams from March 25 to 29. And I hope that the majority of you who are watching had a chance to participate in the week of dreams. The first and most important thing that we did during that week was open our new Norda Center for the Performing Arts. And this was a huge milestone for UVU. We now have a state-of-the-art facility where our performing arts students and faculty could create many, many wonderful things to inspire and inform and educate and challenge all of us. The ribbon cutting was quite unique because we used swords. Nobody was hurt. We used swords instead of scissors. And we had the fabulous Jason Alexander of Seinfeld fame, who did that with us, along with some actors, our dean, our donors, and other critical stakeholders of UVU. In addition to the ribbon cutting, we had fabulous performances that week by our students, first of all, dance, theater, music, and we had the inimitable Sierra Boggess of Little Mermaid and Phantom of the Opera fame. We had the Utah Symphony, we had Jason Alexander again, and we capped the week with an amazing masquerade ball and Sierra Boggess's performance. So that was an amazing week of dreams, and I am very grateful that I was part of that week of dreams in a very personal way. We had my inauguration at the Norda Center for the Performing Arts. I'll never forget that morning. It was a day of amazing goodwill and love and support from the entire community that is following and supporting the story that is Utah Valley University. My 22-year-old daughter spoke, of course. She's my toughest critic, and I really didn't know what she was going to say. But she didn't say anything too embarrassing about me. So my inauguration, I want to thank all of you who were there. I want to thank Ashton Stitt and our university executive events team. I want to thank the donors who were there. I want to thank the faculty, the students, and everybody who waved the green pom-pom, because personally for me, that was the moment that I always remember, the sea of green. So much work went into that inauguration. And if I do not mention you by name, please forgive me, but I'm thankful to each and every one of you who made that day so special. And I hope that you all realize that there's no part of my brain that thinks that that day was just all about me. That day was all about us. And the feedback that I've received has been so positive about Utah Valley University and what we are doing here. So thank you. Today I have some special guests. As you know, we have many stars at this university, and I am delighted today to have a few people join me. So may I invite Marilyn Meyer, our new head of HR, and her colleague, Judy Martindale. Marilyn, my computer is making music as I talk. Please don't let it bother you. Marilyn joined us as our new Associate Vice President for Human Resources and Chief Resource Officer. She comes to us from industry, from Xilinx, and started on February 1. So let me turn the time over to Marilyn and discuss a little bit about HR. We may all think we know what HR is, but she will elaborate a little bit on that. And also maybe say a few words about some key initiatives that we have started here, including leadership development and people management excellence and so on. So over to you, Marilyn. Please welcome Marilyn Meyer.
Great, thank you, President. So our top priority remains supporting and enabling workforce leadership. And we're doing this through inspiring leaders, a talented and productive workforce, and a cohesive culture. I think that making leaders great and building a culture and trying to produce your productive workforce takes time. It's not something that you do overnight, and it's not something where you can magically push a button. So some of the things that I and my team are trying to work on and do is ask ourselves questions and build our goals around key areas. So some of those that I would like to share with you is leadership development. So asking, are leaders getting access to the learning resources that they need to do their jobs and to be effective leaders? Or in acquiring talent, are we hiring the best people, and is it becoming easier for people to hire as they go along? Developing talent is another area that we've been focusing on heavily, and it's making sure that people have the skills and that we're offering them the multiple tools to do that. There's many venues to do that. Some people like classroom learning, some people do online, some people do better with reading or TED Talks, and so we're trying to make sure that we enhance that. And then probably one that's very near and dear to my heart is performance management, both from a manager side, a leader side, and as an employee. Are you having the right conversations, and are they meaningful and giving real clarity and direction? And with that, making sure that our rewards and our recognition are aligned with that so that we can support the message. Then another one is for workforce productivity is HR processes, policies, and tools. I think it's valuable to make sure that you have ease of use. Nobody comes to work at UVU to just do HR things. They were hired or engaged in doing other things that they were brought forward to make us successful. And so we want to make sure that from a user experience that they have ease of use and that we're being the most productive and efficient we can. And then the UVU culture, I really like that we're looking at trying to make sure that people are bought into a common purpose, and more importantly, that employees and everyone here feels seen and heard for who they are and where we're at. So we believe that by continuing to invest in these areas, that this will help us provide exceptional care, exceptional accountability, and exceptional results. And then a little bit, we talked about the People Management Excellence Program. That started before I got here, but I went through the modules that were there and the topics before I got here. What I really appreciate about it is it offers all of the leaders and people managers tools and resources to have good leadership for high-performing teams. I think the other thing is there's sections under each topic where you can learn in the way that's most meaningful to you. So if you learn by reading or watching videos, or there's extra things where people can share their experiences as a group and learn from each other, which I think is invaluable. And then most important, I think that it helps how we show up every single day as a leader to have a huge impact on the teams and the people that we support. So it's all exciting and all good news.
I want to say that I don't think Marilyn Meyer had any downtime at all since she started the job.
None, and I love it.
On day one, I want to thank you so much for hitting the ground running, and just want to underline what you said just now about what we're doing with people management excellence. In my own experience, and probably in your experience too, you know, everything gets done by people. And if you're a people manager, it's not automatic that just because you've been given a people management job that you'll be good at it. I remember in Moscow, my first big job where I had to manage people, and it was really difficult to have some of those conversations that were, you know, candid and clear about what's going well and what's not going so well. So I encourage those of you who are joining us online that if you have ideas on how we can improve our people management excellence training in terms of the content, first of all, please participate. Please do all of the training that is required. There are other trainings, including those lunches where people discuss, right?
Correct.
How is the participation in that?
I think so far it's been excellent. It had a little bit of a start where people were a little bit nervous, but I think it's going very well. And one of the things that I appreciate about what you said is years ago when I first started my career, there was a quote, and I don't remember who said it, but it was the organization can never be what the people are not.
That's
and so
right.
To your point, really everything that we do around here depends on us supporting and building and helping our people. So
that's right, and enhancing our skills. So thank you very much, Marilyn. Let me now turn to Judy Martindale, our Director of Benefits, Talent, and Compensation. Judy, how many years have you been at UVU?
I've been here 24 years.
Okay, she was here since she was 10 years old.
Yes.
And
thank you.
Thank you, Judy, for being child labor for UVU, and we're glad that you.
I don't think we want to talk about that right now.
No, so that's a lot of time, and I'm really grateful for that because it means that you've got a institutional memory. So Judy, today we'll talk about the selection process for our new benefits administrator. And today I actually reviewed some of the comments from 2012, 2014, 2016 on our Great Colleges to Work For survey. And there were instances where people had some grief about, benefits administrators. So Judy, please talk to us about Blue Cross Blue Shield as our new administrator. And even more important, an administrator is not the end point. We all have to enroll, myself included. Yes. So talk to us about those two things.
Okay, great. Well, as you know, or you may not know, that every 5 years, UVU has to go out to a RFP process, do an RFP process for
a request for proposals.
A request for proposals, yes, that's right. So last August, we embarked on that process. After a careful and extensive procurement process, the RFP committee recommended to President's Council the selection of Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield as the administrator of our UVU healthcare plan. They're replacing our current administrator, UMR, and this will be effective July 1, 2019. We still have our contractual relationships with EMI for our dental and with Magellan RX for our pharmacy. This decision to go with Regents was based on an in-depth review of the proposal by the RFP committee. Now, the RFP committee consisted of representatives from Faculty Senate, from PACE, our staff association, from administration, and it was supported by Hub International, who is our benefits consultant for UVU. The committee also reviewed an employee survey that we put out there, and they took the feedback from that survey very seriously, including identifying the top priority, which was keeping costs low, and this is the important part, without compromising quality. And I think that was important in the decision that was made. Blue Cross Blue Shield has a very long-standing tradition of giving excellent service and results. And for our employees, that means solid options. For them, that means new online tools and low-cost alternatives. So in addition, they actually have better out-of-state coverage than our previous one. Regents services include about 96% of all hospitals and 95% of providers in a nationwide network. Benefits eligible employees here at UVU will be able to have the opportunity to choose between 2 network options, and these are different than what we had in the past. We have a traditional participating network, which is called PAR for short. That includes 52 of the Utah hospitals. That's 100% of Utah hospitals. They also have a tremendous amount, 13,900 approximately physicians and other professionals in that network. They also have a value care network, which is called the Preferred Value Care Network, or PAR. It's a PPO, a preferred provider network. It's a little bit smaller, narrower network with 42 hospitals. and about 13,706 physicians and other professionals statewide. Both networks are going to include IHC Instacare, which we are all very familiar with, so that is a plus. Also, they're going to add Kids Care and other urgent care locations also. So benefits eligible employees will be able to choose from a network. They'll also be able to choose from a plan. We still have our two plans, the traditional plan, which is a little bit lower deductible, a little bit higher cost, and our high deductible plan with our health savings account, which UVU contributes to, which is a big plus. Given the significant difference between our network options, we are requiring a mandatory enrollment. We want everybody to understand the differences in our networks, the differences in our plans, because it is different.
And sorry, the provider will also be here, I believe, to talk to people on campus, right?
That is exactly right. So the mandatory enrollment means that if you would like to be covered under a medical or dental plan, UVU's medical or dental plan, you must enroll, you must elect. Now, open enrollment is open. It continues from now until May 10th. We have plenty of time to do it and a lot of help to do it. If you fail to make an election by May 10th, then unfortunately you won't be covered under a UVU health plan.
Can we just pause here for a second? Judy just said if you don't enroll by May 10, Wolverines, if you're watching and listening, if you're not enrolled by May 10, you will not be covered by the UVU health plan. So that's extremely important. We all have families. It's important to our welfare. So please note the deadline of May 10.
President, we are having an all-out communication blitz on this.
Nobody can say that they didn't hear about it or know about it. Okay.
We are soaring with this change. There's a benefits guides that was mailed to everyone's home last week. If you haven't received it, you'll be receiving it soon. Please take time to look at it, to look at the information inside of it, because it will help you and assist in informed decision-making for the plan or the medical network that you're going to be enrolled in. Also, we have a benefits fair that's scheduled for tomorrow in the Hall of Flags. This is always excellent. We have 24 experts, benefit vendors. They'll be there to answer your questions. Free food, free prizes, swag.
Okay.
Come down and it's from 10 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Magellan will be presenting. They'll do a presentation at noon in SC 213A. And Regents will be presenting at 1 o'clock in the same room, SC 213A. Also, we have campus information sessions that are scheduled. Regents will be at all of those. They'll be held at UFRA, at the auxiliary building, and on main campus. Also, Regents will be hosting town hall meetings at their facilities. They would like UVU employees to become familiar with the facilities. So they'll be held at Mount Timpanogos, or at Timpanogos Hospital, at Mountain Point Hospital, Lone Peak Hospital, and the University of Utah Medical Center, and Samantha Morgan-Sart and I will be there also. So come, they're going to have refreshments. The dates and times of all of these events can be found on the website. Drop-in enrollments, these are new this year, so every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday come to the HR offices between 3 and 5 o'clock, and our benefits team will be there for drop-in sessions, and they'll help individuals enroll in their enrollment or in a medical plan. So we're here to help, we're excited, and we're soaring with the change.
Great, thank you so much, Judy. Again, I know it's not always easy to kind of re-enroll again, but it's so important. And I want to emphasize a couple of things that you said, which is that we had this RFP process, a lot of factors were taken into consideration, but most important is that we wanted to keep costs under control while providing at least the same level, if not more, of benefits to all our employees. And this is extremely important to us as an institution. So please show up for the fair tomorrow in the Hall of Flags. And as Judy said, free food, maybe some free entertainment as well. And don't forget to enroll between now and May 10. Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody on the committee who look at our options and then made the decision. I know that this was thoroughly vetted and discussed in a process that had the welfare of all of us in mind. So thank you, Marilyn.
Thank you.
And thank you, Judy.
Thank you, President.
Right.
So I would now like to invite some other guests to join me. I have here from PACE and staff. Now, what I wanted to do today, since in the past we have talked about students, we've talked about faculty, we've talked about me, and I'm getting really boring to me. Today, we'll talk a little bit with and about our staff. Any great university or any great organization gets things done because of wonderful staff who are professional and passionate and always willing and ready to go the extra mile. Sometimes you don't always see our staff, front and center on the stage, and I think it's really important that we know what they're doing and that we understand how much effort they put into the things that help us all to succeed. So today I have Tamara, is it Tamara? Did I pronounce it right? Tamara Jensen, who is the Vice President of PACE, our association for employees. And on behalf of Nathan Gerber, I'd like to apologize. He is out of town, right? Nathan is out of town. Tamara is here. I also have Dashik Aquenya. Dashik was one of the first people that I met when we had a barbecue in my backyard in the old president's residence. And I did not forget you, Dashik, because your name is Dashik. It's just a name that, I love it. And I've met your children at athletic games. So
Correct.
It's wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
And Dashik chairs our Wolverine Pride. And Candida Johnson, who just actually got a big award last week, the Wolverine Award, which is student-led, student-driven, student-selected. And I think it speaks a lot for who you are and the energy and enthusiasm you bring to your job. So we will begin with Tamara Jensen, who will talk to us about PACE and what PACE is all about, and encourage all the staff and employees to participate. Over to you.
Thank you. So PACE stands for the Professional Association of Campus Employees, and any full-time or part-time staff member is a member of PACE. Our mission is about helping our members have a better working environment and atmosphere. We have 4 main objectives which we try to promote and help our staff members with. So they are to advocate for staff by representing and advancing their interests and recognizing the value of their contributions. We do this in many ways. The PACE board and the executive board serve on many committees throughout campus and advocate for the concerns and the issues that staff may have. We seek to unify the diverse groups of staff across campus toward common goals in alignment with the mission. And we communicate with administration and staff by providing a forum for the exchange of information. Our organization is unique in that we are one of the only staff organizations in the state of Utah that has a voting member on the president's executive leadership team, and so we feel like that's really important and want to make sure that our staff know that they do have a voice with the leadership and that we are at that table and they listen to us and we listen to them, and we are trying to provide that back and forth communication among our staff. The 4th objective of PACE is to involve staff by encouraging social service and professional engagement across campus. We do this in many ways through various committees. We sponsor and host different events. We have professional development opportunities for staff. Some of the things that you may not be aware that staff does is the Professional Development Fund. We also have the Staff Education Fund that we try to help advance the goals and mission of the university through our exceptional staff. The PACE General Board consists of several members. You have the executive team, which is the president, vice president, secretary, and either president-elect or past president. But you also have a general board, which come from all walks across campus, which are PACE senators, committee chairs, and we also have people that are just involved at the committee level. They may just want to be interested in planning a party or planning a professional development organization, so they may join a committee and help in that regard. One of the big things that we want to hear from PACE, which is all staff across campus. We need to hear your voice. We need to have you participate with us so that we can be your voice across campus. We are the official voice of staff across campus, and that's who the president and the leadership teams turn to know what the feelings are. We participate in policy. We participate across so many committees across the university, not just PACE related, but we have a voice at Faculty Senate. We have a voice on emergency management, so many committees across campus. So we are definitely there, and we are advocating for staff. How can you help? We need you to get involved. We need staff to be an integral part of UVU. You are the backbone of Utah Valley University, and without staff, the faculty and the teaching and the learning cannot happen. So there's several ways that you can get involved. Right now is the best time to get involved. Right now, PACE is seeking nominations and holding elections for new board members. There are several positions available from senators. Senators represent each division across campus. So if you're in academic affairs or university relations or finance administration, you have people that represent you and your voice. We also have committee chairs and committee membership available. So I encourage you all to go on the PACE website and see who your representatives are and reach out to them. In addition, those elections and nominations are happening right now. Starting tomorrow, the nominations will be open, and there will be a link on the PACE website where you can go on and nominate that. But more importantly, at the benefits fair tomorrow, you can stop by the PACE table and find out more about what positions are open, how you can serve, more about PACE, etc., and get some more information. We encourage you to run. We encourage you to encourage your colleagues to run and participate and have a voice. If serving on the board is not your thing, there's other ways to get involved. You can volunteer to help with a committee. You can attend our events, the Staff Fall Forum. We partner with Human Resources in promoting Summer University. Those are great ways to get involved. Also on the PACE website, there are other ways that you can get involved. You can explore that. But there is a suggestion box, which we encourage everyone to use, which comes directly to us, and we take these suggestions and the concerns that come through that box very seriously. And you can see past answers and things posted on that website as well. We can't be successful at UVU without our awesome staff, and we want to make sure that we are highlighting the successes of our staff and the awesome things that they're doing. A couple of those awesome staff we wanted to highlight include J.C. Graham with Crisis Services and Tony Harris with College of Humanities and Social Sciences, along with Sheldon Holgram from Veteran Success and the Dean's of Students Office, Marin Turnridge. They sponsor, I think they're on the 4th annual Suicide Prevention Conference, which is coming up in October, and this is an event that they bring in the community. I think last year they had over 400 community members, an additional 100 students that attended this to bring awareness to suicide and the different issues surrounding that. They have a ceremony at that, which is a White Dove release, which is very special. And although it's a small part of this conference, it's amazing, and it's highlights and it brings recognition to those who have been affected by suicide. So I encourage you all to go to the College of Humanities and Social Sciences website and check that out. That's upcoming. But we wanted to kind of give a shout out to so many people across campus that run these things behind the scenes that you may not know. Another shout out we wanted to give was to our grounds crew. These are people that work tirelessly in the back scenes of UVU. An example was this winter. This winter was brutal, and if you're like me, I am tired of the snow. But these individuals are working hard to, before we even get up in the morning, they are out there clearing our roads, clearing our paths, making the campus safe and accessible for all of us. And we just wanted to give them a shout out and a hurrah and thank them for their service.
Thank you, Tamara. Talking about grounds crew, over over this weekend, actually, I had a guest at home who said, hey, by the way, I just saw your bubble in Vineyard. It seems to be wibbly wobbly. And it turned out, in fact, that we did have a problem with our bubble, our practice facility in Vineyard, and it's the weekend, and crew still have to go out there and fix it because it was starting to collapse. So I think in ways that are visible and not so visible, our staff are there for us and they help us, and I think it's really important to highlight what they do. So thank you for talking about PACE in general and then ways that everybody can participate. Staff here are empowered, so if you want to participate and be more active, there's plenty of opportunity.
Absolutely.
And so thank you for highlighting that, Tamara. We'll now turn quickly to Dashik to talk about Wolverine Pride, which, you know, I kind of carry myself every day with my green hair, and I sometimes forget to wear green. Hey, it's on my hair and it's automatic. So over to you, Dashik.
Thank you, President. Yes, Wolverine Pride is a subcommittee of PACE. Wolverine Pride was initiated by UVU employees, and it's for UVU employees in order to instill pride and spirit on our campus, especially amongst faculty and staff. Now, we have three main objectives for Wolverine Pride. First objective is to promote the brand and wearing of apparel on our campus. We don't want to see other colleges, schools on our campus here, so we want to promote wearing of UV apparel on our campus, and so we try to have initiatives to promote that. Second objective is to be able to support our student athletes and our students, whether it's with athletics, School of the Arts, at concerts, athletic events, or also, you know, dances that happen on campus and other university-sponsored events too as well, and through increased attendance at those events, most importantly. And then our third initiative is to be able to brand our institution, finding ways to be able to brand our university hallways, our offices, our departments as well, in order to be able to increase that pride and spirit within our institution as well. And I'd also like to speak about couple initiatives that are part of Wolverine Pride. We have what's called Wolverine Wednesday. So basically on Wolverine Wednesday, we try to get our employees to wear green. And if you wear green or any UVU apparel on Wednesday, we have partnered up with participating vendors, food vendors here on campus. They qualify for special discounts.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, so it's a great initiative. Yes, exactly.
I've been missing out on my discounts. I wear green on Wednesdays.
Correct. It's a great initiative, President, where if you go to a participating food vendor, you can qualify for any discounts. If you are wearing UV apparel, anywhere from 10 to 15% off of your final tab, you can receive a free drink, or you can also receive a free meal entree, depending on the vendor that's participating. As well as the bookstore as well has special discounts on UV apparel. So if you are limited on your UV apparel, you can go down to the bookstore. They have special discounts there too as well on select merchandise to be able to increase your UV apparel in that too as well. And then lastly, what I wanted to talk about was our Wolverine Pride Ambassador of the Month initiative. So this initiative is a way to just recognize our employees that are going above and beyond in instilling school pride and spirit. Okay, so if you nominate a Wolverine Pride Ambassador of the Month, they receive a special gift bag such as this one, filled with Wolverine goodies. And actually this is for you, President, because you are a true example and champion of instilling school pride and spirit on our institution. We always see you at athletic events with your pom-poms, you know, celebrating and cheering on our student athletes. So we really appreciate that. You're a great example of that, and we hope that everybody can pick up that enthusiasm and be able to champion that school pride and spirit on our campus too as well. So that's our main goal and purpose as Wolverine Pride.
Thank you. You know, I love what you're doing. I love all of these initiatives, and really, frankly, I really didn't know that you can get a discount on Wednesdays. So maybe I can go and get a cumulative discount for all the Wednesdays that I've worn green. And so it's not just, you know, the apparel, but it's certainly part of it to instill pride in all of us, and also to cultivate our identity as UVU students, faculty, staff, and administrators. And I think pride is really important in the sense that in my own experience, once you feel that you belong to something bigger than you, and you take pride in what that something is, it actually influences how you think and how you act and how you behave. It also gives you a bigger purpose and helps you to, I think, do things that may even be bigger than what you thought you're capable of doing. So, so hurrah for Wolverine Pride, and let's all get our discounts on Wednesdays, man. I just didn't know that. I'm learning new things every single day. So thank you, Dashik, and thank you to you and your team for everything you're doing to build and instill pride on this campus. Let me now turn to Candida Johnson to talk to us about Summer University.
Thank you. So Summer University is an opportunity for staff to get together and perform services. We have professional development, personal development. This year it's May 13th through the 15th, so it's Monday through Wednesday. We have different service projects going on campus and within the community. We also have special keynote speakers coming. We have Joseph Grenny with Crucial Conversations.
He's the author of Crucial Conversations.
Right, so he's going to be our keynote speaker on Monday, and lunch will be provided, so free food. Tuesday, we'll have Lynn Christian with Soul Salt. We'll have Michelle Reyes speaking to us. So we have different opportunities for different keynote speakers, different breakout sessions that are all based to help staff professionally and personally develop. One of the best parts is we do have family nights. So Monday night, we will have family night where the bowling alley will be open and the climbing wall will be open. So bring your family in, see what the Student Life and Wellness Center is about. Tuesday night, HR is going to host a baseball game. So that's free as well. So bring your family out Tuesday night. It's really a time for the staff to bond together and to build those relationships across campus and really build that camaraderie. So I really encourage the staff to participate. Look at the uvu.edu/Summer University website. It has all of the information about the different events that we have going on. There is a golf tournament, a bowling tournament, a fun run, which I hear is going to be awesome this year, President, and you like to run. They're going to have obstacles out there. Yeah, so it's going to be great. If you have not been involved with Summer University, I highly encourage it. It is a great time for all, and we love our staff here on campus, and we want to really encourage people to get involved in that way.
When is the ice cream social?
The ice cream social, yes. So PACE provides the ice cream on Wednesday afternoon. So definitely come Wednesday afternoon for the PACE ice cream social. We will have the closing ceremonies then and lots of different varieties of ice cream.
All right. So I think the timing is also really great for the summer, what we call the summer, what do we call it officially? Summer University. It's very intense now in April, then we have commencement on May 2nd. I think by the week that you're doing this, May 13 to 15, everybody kind of goes, and it's a wonderful time to celebrate, to learn, to invest in yourself, invest in your team members, bring your families to campus. These activities only succeed if we participate. So Candida has given us a great summary, and I'd like to urge all of us who are, again, listening today to participate on any of those days or all of those days, May 13 to 15. Yes. So thank you, Tamara, thank you, Dashik, and thank you, Candida, for sharing the information today. And we have just a few more items to cover. First thing I want to talk about is, again, back to, April. I actually can't believe that it's April. It seems like it seems both slow and fast. Where I started the presidency on September 17, it's been almost exactly 7 months, and here I am already. I felt like I just did freshman convocation, and we are now nearly close to the end of the academic year. There are a few things that I want to highlight. We just completed a very, very special campaign called 2518. And some of you may have noticed that number kind of popping up cryptically and mysteriously on T-shirts, on websites, on different parts of the campus. This 2518 was and is, it's still ongoing, a student-led campaign to raise money for first-generation students for scholarship and programming. And when this campaign was thought up, 2518, if I'm not mistaken, was the exact cost of a semester of tuition at UVU. And I want to kind of report the interim results today. We've had over 1,000 donors donating, the highest participation we've ever had in a student-led campaign like this. We wanted to have 2518 donors, and so we will do better next year, but I'm so excited that over 1,000 have chosen to share their resources with our first generation students. And to date, we have raised $12,500. But please note that this campaign is still open until May 31. So we will have our alumni magazine and the Daily Herald writing a little bit about this, and also showing the link. So the link is still open, and I want to give that to you today, uvu.edu/2518. In a way, for me, the amount matters less than our participation. So if you could only give $5, please do so. What it simply means is that you've taken a moment to think about UVU as your university. And we have this year 36%, in previous years 38% of our student body who are first generation, first in their families to pursue a college education. So let's encourage them, celebrate them, and support them with resources that will help them succeed at UVU. Last week, Wednesday evening, we also had our athletic awards banquet. And frankly, I wasn't really prepared for how big that was. It was really almost like the Presidential Scholarship Ball. But at the UCCU Center, we had hundreds of our student athletes there, their coaches, their professors, their families. And it was a great evening to celebrate their successes, not only in athletics, but even more important in academics. And in the program, what jumped out at me was simply that there were all these athletes who had 4.0 GPAs. That is just astounding. If you think about it, I was a student once, and I worked 20 hours a week, and trying to get that 4.0 was really, really difficult. But think about having to train every single day, the physical and time commitment, and still getting a 4.0. Our average GPA in our athletics program is 3.35, which I believe is one of the highest in the country. So we can take pride in that. We are a university, we are about education and learning, but I also believe that part of education and learning is athletics. And our student athletes are some of the very best examples of grit, commitment, and tenacity. When you see them compete and get up, time and time again after their own setbacks, you will be very impressed. We've also had awards of excellence, and there are a few more in the coming week. We have all sorts of awards. I've just mentioned earlier the Wolverine Awards, and I found that luncheon very moving because it was the students who did these videos about people who've helped them in really outstanding ways. People who have sacrificed, people who have really with their heart and soul wanted to help students. And it was everybody from full-time professor to adjunct professor to staff. And then our dance team got a special award for their accomplishments this year, winning #1 in the country in their first time to compete in the Varsity University Dance Association's competition. There are, this coming week, there will be this week I think, a next Board of Trustees Awards, Presidential Awards. And some people may say that it's a little bit cheesy to do awards like this. Yesterday, I attended the Office of Student Affairs Awards. And yeah, those people are a little colorful for sure. They had their theme, "We Are the Champions," and then a band. It was amazing. Freddie Mercury. And they sang Bohemian Rhapsody. It was sort of amazing. So to pause for a second as to why we recognize one another, it's not just because we're being nice or we want to be cheesy or sentimental. It's because underpinning all of our successes, again, are people, students, faculty, staff, and administration who are inspired, who work really, really hard. And I believe that one way we share the blessing, and we share the recognition of being in a university is having these awards where we nominate, vote for one another, and recognize the work that is being done. So congratulations to everybody who's been recognized. I hope that this encourages others of us to work even harder next year and I hope that this also encourages us to keep our eyes open for those who are really going above and beyond what is required of them, to help and to serve and to help our students in particular to succeed here at UVU. I want to also announce commencement. I'd like to ask all of us to have this on our calendars. I'd love to see a big turnout on May 2nd at 6:30 in the evening. We have a very special commencement speaker this year. This is my first commencement at UVU, and we have as our guests the 5 Browns. These are siblings who have grown up here in Utah, and I really didn't know anything about them, but when I was living in New York City, I had my paper subscription to the New York Times and remembered opening my paper one day, and there was a whole page spread on 5 siblings who'd gotten into Juilliard, one of the best and toughest schools to get into when it comes to music and the performing arts, you know, in New York City. My own mother-in-law, Marilyn Tolk, is a graduate of Juilliard, so that institution is special to me and my family. But I read about these 5 siblings, and not only are they impeccable artists, but they've overcome great challenges, great darkness in their lives. And when I read about them and what they had done, I was so inspired, and I thought that I couldn't think of a more fitting commencement speaker. Because at the end of the day, when we talk about our identity as gritty, you know, scrappy underdogs, we are resilient, we don't give up, we get up every time we're down. I really felt in my heart that the 5 Browns would be just wonderful. They immediately accepted and were very delighted to join us. So we will welcome them on campus on May 2nd, 6:30 p.m. We will also be giving honorary degrees to the 5 Browns, as well as 2 individuals. These are Jeanette Bennett, whose name may be familiar to many of us. Jeanette is an entrepreneur in the publishing industry, and her work has been acknowledged and recognized nationally. She is the editor of Utah Valley magazine, and I think she's also mother of 5, I think 5. So I'm so impressed with her. She's been a great part of the storytelling for UVU. You know, if nobody tells stories about us, nobody knows what we're doing, that would not be so great, but she's a wonderful, wonderful supporter of UVU. And the other person we will honor is the very special Professor Dean Newell Daly, who many of you may remember as the dean of our School of the Arts. And Newell has had a long, long history of being a performer, a musician, a professor, a consummate administrator. He was at Brigham Young University. And in my conversations with him, I've just been so persuaded by the quality of his character. He played trumpet, I believe, and when he was younger, he was discouraged from pursuing a career in the arts, but he has shown us that with passion and commitment and hard work, you can do anything. And he's been very instrumental to the success of our building of the Norda Center for the Performing Arts. So Newell Daly will be the other person that we will honor. We will this year celebrate 6,400 graduates. And this is amazing. Graduation and completion is today and is going to be going forward, as long as I am your president, a core theme of my presidency. When we come into this campus every day, when we look at what we do with our time and our resources, I would like us to ask ourselves, is this helping or hindering students from graduation? And what I mean by helping is not saying, okay, let's just pass students and get them all to graduate, but are we helping them succeed? Are we helping them overcome their areas for improvement? Are we helping them own their education? Are we making it easier for them to get financial aid? Are we communicating with the significant other people in their lives who are supporting them? And so I'm so happy and proud that we will be graduating 6,400 students. And on May 3, for those of you who know students or mentor them and know graduates, please encourage them to attend the reception that I'll be hosting on May 3rd from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. in the Student Life and Wellness Center courtyard. If they find my reception boring, then they can go climb the wall or run on the track. There are many options. I also want to say a couple words about our new hires. Our new Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Wayne Vaught, will begin on June 1st. Professor Vaught comes to us from the University of Missouri in Kansas City, where he has worked for 21 years. He is a philosophy professor, is also a volunteer basketball referee, and so he has that kind of life experience in the trenches, and I think that's going to be so exciting for all of us. Professor Vaught is today Dean of the School of the Arts of UMKC, where he oversees about 434 full-time and part-time faculty, and I believe about 18 departments. So he is a seasoned administrator, and his wife is a nurse practitioner whose skills will certainly be highly welcome in our valley. The other, and as Wayne leaves, of course, we want to say goodbye and thank you to Dr. Jeffrey Olson. Jeff's many accomplishments have been highlighted many times in the last 6 months. We are truly grateful for the work Jeff has done, and we will wish him well. And he leaves us on June 30, and there will be other events to celebrate Dr. Olson before he leaves UVU. I want to also say that yesterday we had a press conference at 11 in the morning to announce our new men's basketball coach. I'm tempted to say Mad Dog Madsen. I actually watched Coach Madsen's videos last night where he's dancing with the LA Lakers, and I think that encapsulates, who he is. He is a very successful academic person. And that's part of what's going to make him a great coach. He has an undergraduate degree in economics from Stanford University and also has an MBA with a certificate in public management. And he has a long track record of succeeding as an athlete, both at Stanford University and in the NBA, having been a member of a championship team, the Lakers, for I think twice. So Coach Madsen is also a man of character and great positivity. And I believe that, as I said yesterday, he's leading not only our men's basketball team, but he will be a leader across campus for 40,000 Wolverines. So please join me in welcoming him. And I want to thank Val Peterson, Jared Samsian, our interim athletics director, Scott Cooksey, our vice president for institutional advancement, Cameron Martin, our vice president for community relations, and Justin Jones, my chief of staff. Since Coach Pope, who we thank very much and wish very well in his new position at BYU, since he left last Wednesday, it has been, I think, some of the foremost intense days of my tenure. And I'm happy that we have a new coach, and I look forward to the new era and the new season. I also want to thank our UVUSA leadership team that is now transitioning to the new UVU Student Association presidency. You can see a picture of them. I want to thank in particular Mark Reynolds, who's graduating in May with his degree in outdoor recreation. Mark and his team have been superb advocates and representatives of the students, and they're going to go on to bigger and better adventures. And I want to welcome Taylor Bell, our new UVUSA president, and his new team of leaders. Thank you, students. I always say to you that we succeed because of you, and I truly mean that. And the next PBA talk, there are so many talks with Tuminez, but as we're ending the year, the last one will be next Monday, April 22nd, and I want to make sure I get the timing right, 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Grand Ballroom. There are quite a few members of this community who come up to me and say, hey, how are these decisions made about budget? We are one of the most transparent organizations I have ever encountered in my life. And I want to thank all of those who have participated in countless hours of doing PBA. We will not stream this particular PBA and talk with Tuminez, so I encourage all of you who are interested to be in that face-to-face discussion next Monday. And if you can't make it, we will record the proceedings and you will have a chance to watch that later on. Lunch will be provided, and one thing we can celebrate this year when it comes to budget and planning is the huge support this open-hearted and still very enthusiastic support from our legislature. That is the reason we are not raising tuition very much this year, just 1.7%. So I encourage all of you to participate next week. We are well-resourced in order to fulfill the mission that we have. I will now turn the time over to Justin Jones. I've been talking to a camera, so sometimes I wonder, are there really people out there? And we will soon find out because Justin is going to moderate Q&A. I want to invite Marilyn and Judy back. And the Sheik, please come on back.
Yeah, President, I asked them to come back because some of the questions we've been receiving on the YouTube chat involve both PACE and benefits. So
okay.
The first one,
Marilyn, come back too.
If it's okay, President.
Yes.
The first question is really, or actually there are a couple questions together that are related, but one is, do we have any opportunity to cover the cost of ACE fellowships? ACE is an association. And then another is for employees who may be, or their dependents, seeking master's degrees at UVU, have we thought about offering that? Or are there resources for that? And then there's a second part of that question. So are there resources for employees to seek additional opportunities with an association or to improve themselves, other than the great summer university that we talked about earlier?
I can speak to that. So with PACE, we have the Staff Development Fund, which covers the opportunities for staff to participate in professional development opportunities. Currently, as a PACE Executive Board, we are looking at ways to revamp that a little bit, and I think this ACE initiative is a perfect example of how we might be able to do that. So we can definitely address that and look to see if that fits within our scope. I encourage all staff to go to the PACE website and review what we do have available so that they can see what's there. In regards to the graduate level courses, PACE has the Staff Education Fund, and we actually went up in PBA as a staff association to ask for increases in that. So make sure that you come to talk with Tuminez next week, and we'll see what the outcomes of that are. But also that does support degrees not only at UVU at the graduate level, but at other institutions. Staff are eligible to apply for tuition assistance through those funds as well. That's
actually really wonderful. So if they choose to do a master's at, say, at BYU, they can use some of the funding
absolutely.
That's here. All right, thank you for that. The Sheik and Candida, come on up if you don't mind. Just stand behind us because you're part of the team here.
Excellent. President, we had a message asking the question, when will a decision be made regarding offering benefits to transgender employees?
I can answer that.
Can you answer that, Judy?
I can answer that, and I am so excited and happy to answer that. One thing that happens when you transition to a new administrative services provider is you get an opportunity to look at your plan to see what the options and the possibilities are. I am happy to announce that we have added coverage in our behavioral health coverage for gender dysphoria. Mm-hmm. We have also added hormone treatment coverage for gender dysphoria also. So I am excited about that, and I think it's a win-win for us.
So the answer is yes, it's happening. Thank you, Judy, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for those who are texting in. Another question as it relates to benefits. Has there been any additional thought regarding providing the tuition benefit to married dependents, especially in light of the 45% completion goal?
Yes, there has. There has been discussion about that. We are writing the policy right now. Now that Marilyn's here, we can free up some of our time to complete that.
What phase is it in the policy process?
It is in stage 1. We're waiting for a review. It's to go to stage 2.
And the age of dependency ends when?
26 or married. Right now, currently, it's for the tuition waivers. If they are married, then they no longer are eligible for this.
Okay. All right. But again, this is good that we thank you for raising it, and then that we are addressing it. So we don't have a complete answer, but it is in process.
And somewhat related to this question is regarding the benefit for employees and their dependents regarding master degree level position, or if employees or their dependents seeking master's degrees here at UVU, have we discussed opening the benefit or the tuition waiver benefit up to employees or or their dependents?
There have been discussions on that, and during the discussions we talked about our master's programs. We need to mature them a little bit more, a little bit longer, and then we can continue the discussion or engage in the discussion again. But right now, the timing is probably not right.
Yeah, and if I may add, some master's programs I know we're even charging a little higher tuition because we need to make sure that they are sustainable and that they are funded. But that's a fair question. We can revisit and think about graduate programs here. Justin.
Excellent. We have just two more questions and then we'll be done for today. Do you have any comments or can you give us an update on the Digital Transformation Task Force made up of people across UVU?
Yes, so our Digital Transformation Task Force has been working, I believe, for at least 2 months. And Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, Jeff Olson, has led that effort. And the representation on that task force really cuts across the university. So there's a student on it, there's professors, administrators, and also people who are not necessarily all technical, because I believe at the end of the day, digital transformation is so much more about technology. More than anything, it's about change management and a growth mindset that we can do the things we do, differently for more impact. And I've already read the draft report twice. I've given my comments and my questions. We have Ron, and I don't want to butcher his last name, so I'll only use his first name, who shepherded digital transformation at Notre Dame University. He's been working with the task force as a consultant, and I'm really grateful for his expertise. And so what will happen there is I think, the insights and principles are important. And then when you have something like that, the next big question is, how do you map? Where can the early successes be? Who will be the change agents? What can we do where we can show that indeed this is worth doing? How do we deal with our legacy system? So that's really a multi-year effort, and I will just end on a note that growth mindset is going to be extremely necessary for us to make this succeed. One more question,
Excellent.
Justin?
One more question. What is your vision for the first-year center, for the new first-year center?
Our advisory, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, what is your vision for the new first-year center for advising?
Yes, so I hesitate to say that this is sort of my vision. It is the vision of those who've actually studied the importance of a first-year center. But if you were to ask me what my opinion is, we are resourcing this properly. So a few years ago, there were interventions done in order to retain more of our first-year students and then help them succeed all the way through to completion. As of today, our completion still stands only at 37%. That's not so bad given that we are open admission, but increasingly we will be funded based on our performance metrics, and I think we have hard work to do to increase that number, and I have said 45%, which I hope that we surpass, 45% by 2025. What is great about our numbers, though, is that retention last year at 66%, I believe is the highest it's ever been. So if you retain students freshman to sophomore year, you have the higher chance of keeping them here through to completion. So the first year center is where we are consolidating some of our advisory services, both in terms of space and people, and adding a little more skills and support so that we address concerns at an earlier stage when students come here for their education. So I think I would like to ask everybody to stay tuned on that because it is an initiative that was very carefully thought through. It was a partnership largely between academic and student affairs. So if you think about supporting the students, so the academic chunk is so huge, but everything else that's not academic is actually, it has to be landed by student affairs. So the vision there is 45%. That's if you were just to ask me for a very concrete impact that I would judge first and foremost myself if I'm succeeding as president, or is it time to say, okay, somebody else maybe should do this who's going to succeed better? 45%, that's a pretty clear, pretty hairy, pretty specific goal. So, and by the way, I want to say it's not just a first year center. We are doing a lot of other things on scheduling, on all the support that's needed. So I also want to be fair, and I don't want to put all the burden on the first year center, but it's exciting. So let's work with the First Year Center. Let's support it. I want to close by just thanking all of you again. Thank you. At 7 months, my hair hasn't turned completely white yet. I am so grateful. I am working so hard, as we all are. I've not gotten sick once in 7 months, and I think that's thanks to the positive energy and the support that I feel here every single day. I want to thank Marilyn, Judy, Tamara, Dashik, and Candida. You have seen today and have heard the people that make this university run along with all of us. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining Talk with Tuminez, and see you next Monday. Go Wolverines. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, that was not so bad.
You're a pro.
You're all talk show.